Sean Diddy Combs stands before an appeal court. Find out how this could affect his bail.
A court in Georgia is requesting an appeal related to charges against former President Donald Trump.
Major roads connecting North and South Korea have been destroyed. Find out what this means for the relationship between the two countries moving forward.
And iconic One Direction band member Liam Payne was found dead in Buenos Aires. We have the details on how it happened.
And I will be tracking the freeze warning in effect until 9 a.m. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Amelia Winter.
And I'm Lauren Burris.
A federal appeals court will hear arguments on Sean Diddy Combs' effort to be released from jail next month. Lawyers for Combs have asked the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit to reverse the lower court's decision denying him bail. The star's lawyers arguing that the judge made a legal error when determining there were no conditions to address the concerns about witness tampering or physical violence. Combs offered a bail package that included a $50 million bond, home confinement, and limits on visitors. Prosecutors opposed it, saying the hip-hop mogul had been in contact with some witnesses and posed a physical threat.
Prosecutors in Georgia are asking an appeals court to reinstate several charges against former President Donald Trump in the state's election interference case.
In yesterday's filing, Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis argued a state court erred when it tossed the 6 charges against Trump and some of his co-defendant earlier this spring.
The charges involved the solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer. At the time, the judge ruled the charges lacked the required detail about the underlying crime they were soliciting. As a result, the judge ruled the defendants wouldn't be able to adequately defend themselves. But in new filing, Wallace argued the indictment had plenty of information that would allow the defendants to prepare for their case. Most of the 41-count indictment is still intact. Trump has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
The family of a Tennessee factory worker who was swept away in flooding from Hurricane Helene has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the company. The lawsuit was filed by the family of Johnny Peterson. It alleges Impact Plastics and its CEO, quote, chose greed over the safety of its workers. According to the complaint, the workers were told their shift would proceed as normal, even as water was beginning to leak through the roof. The lawsuit also alleges Impact Plastics may have not had a flood evacuation plan, despite the factory being located in a floodplain. Peterson's family is asking for at least $25 million. The company's attorney has not responded to requests for comment. North Korea exploded parts of 2 major roads connected to the southern part of the peninsula yesterday. This comes after Pyongyang warned it would take steps to completely cut off its territory from the south. The destruction of travel routes makes little difference, but its symbolism comes at a time of particularly fiery rhetoric between the 2 Korean leaders.
With just 20 days to go until the election, the presidential candidates are working to broaden their appeal with key voting groups. With both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are adopting aggressive media strategies in the final stretch. Our Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook joins us live from the White House with a new popular way to reach voters.
In the final sprint toward Election Day, campaign rallies in battleground states and interviews with mainstream media play an important role. But as the media landscape shifts, podcasts are becoming a popular way to reach voters, especially young voters.
He knows you very well. He said, Dad, he's big.
Wow.
Yeah, big one.
That's cool.
So that's good.
What,
that's where it is nowadays, right?
Former President Donald Trump has been regularly appearing on podcasts, chatting with Theo Vaughn, Nelk Boys, and Logan Paul, as he works to make inroads with young men who are often low-propensity voters.
It's going to be great.
I think so, too.
I've been doing this all my life.
In recent weeks, Vice President Kamala Harris has worked the podcast circuit as well.
Madam Vice President Alex, welcome to Call Her Daddy. It is good to be with you.
Stopping by the Shade Room, All the Smoke, and Call Her Daddy, which Spotify has billed as the most listened to podcast by women.
A lot of my push to kind of
hopefully convince people that they should vote is because you should never let anybody take your power from you. However you vote, don't let anyone take your power from you.
Podcasts have grown in popularity over the years. A survey by Pew Research shows that 2/3 of adults under 30 listened to a podcast in 2022. And even though many don't go to podcasts for their news, they appear to trust what they're hearing. 87% said they expect the information on their podcast to be mostly accurate. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
With election season in full swing, NewsLink Indiana looks to bring the latest information to Delaware County as the only live television newscast. Our election team has more for you.
Election day is right around the corner, and NewsLink Indiana has you covered.
Our teams will be live on the ground at party headquarters and polls, getting you the most accurate and up-to-date information.
Plus, we have the latest on the presidential, congressional, and gubernatorial races.
And we'll have you in the know for the potential weather forecast.
So stay tuned for our 2024 general election show and all of our coverage leading up to the big day.
That's all right here live at 9 on NewsLink Indiana's Facebook page.
And with the weekend, since we're through the midweek and it's been cold lately, it's just been so cold.
It's been so cold.
And I hope we can see those warmer temperatures soon. So Olivia's going to give us a look at your weather.
Thanks, guys. So right now we are still going to see some cooler temperatures. 45 degrees right now in Muncie, 47 down in Indianapolis. Some warmer temperatures out to the west, and we are going to warm up for this weekend, but for the next 12 hours we are going to have a dip in temperatures reaching the lower 30s, possibly 29 degrees for a low, because we will have a freeze warning this evening going into tomorrow. So we're tracking this freeze warning, clear skies, and the warm weekend in my full weather.
Singer Liam Payne has died. The former member of boy band One Direction fell from the third floor of a hotel in Buenos Aires. That's according to local police. Few details are available at this time. Payne was 31 years old.
Up next, find out what is causing a new trend in holiday shopping.
And see how two Ball State departments came together to celebrate an iconic decade of America.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, love you always.
Everything I do
when you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. Two departments here at Ball State University were able to come together to celebrate the 1920s with the power of food and fashion. The event takes you back in time for a little history lesson while eating authentic food. NewsLink Indiana's Andy Zelaya explores more on the celebration.
The Ball State Hospitality Innovation Leadership students
and fashion industry studies students were able to come together and put on a show to celebrate the 1920s, as well as the Kitzelman Center. The event had food and clothes inspired by the 20s. The mannequins throughout the function had protest signs to show the fight for women's right to vote. The tables around the mannequins, however, represented the many parties that occurred in the 20s. Freshman Molly Bray goes into her involvement with the celebration.
I was a part of the Teacher Scholar program, so Professor Psyche, she is fantastic. She gave me a couple of options of things to work on for my research project, and I chose to do my project on fashion history and the Kitzelman family in the 1920s.
Over the summer, the faculty came together to discuss which classes should host the event. Professor Diana Psyche picked her fashion history class, as it went hand in hand with what class Dr. Satires Hagustis picked for the event. It gave the students an opportunity to showcase their skills, as well as their appreciation for the era.
It's a really fun decade to look into, both economically and from a fashion perspective, and just as a societal perspective, and to see where we were at culturally 100 years ago.
In Muncie, Andy Zelaya, NewsLink, Indiana.
To stay up to date on events through Ball State, students can check their email for Daily Digest articles.
Retailers expect another holiday spending record, but sales will grow at a slower pace. The National Retail Federation says consumers will spend between $980 and $990 billion in November and December, with sales growth between 2.5 and 3.5%, slightly lower than last year's holiday growth of 3.9%.
They're spending on travel, they're spending on dining out, as well as other services in their lives. And as a result, they're moderating their spending on goods. They're returning to how they used to spend on things like apparel, on home goods.
The short span between Thanksgiving and Christmas, as well as Hurricanes Helene and Milton, have some effect as well. The upcoming election is also a possible factor.
The astronaut wears Prada. This is the spacesuit astronauts will wear on NASA's Artemis 3 moon mission. Luxury fashion house Prada and commercial space company Axiom Space unveiled the designs today. The suits will be made of a white material which reflects heat, offering protection from extremely high temperatures and lunar dust. Specially engineered boots will allow astronauts to spacewalk for at least 8 hours a day. The company says Prada's in-depth knowledge of textile production and sewing techniques helped bridge the gap between functionality and style.
SpaceX is suing a California regulator for alleged political bias against Elon Musk. The California Coastal Commission voted last week to block SpaceX from conducting more launches at Vandenberg Space Force Base. The commission oversees development and environmental protection of the state's coastline. The lawsuit alleges that during that meeting, the commissioners, quote, raised other concerns wholly unrelated to coastal effects. The complaint also claims the commissioners cited Musk's conspiratorial comments on social media. SpaceX says the commission violated Musk's right to free speech and had overstepped its authority. The company also claims launches at the base are federally regulated activities and is not subject to the approval of state regulators. SpaceX is seeking monetary damages. The Coastal California Commission has declined to comment on the lawsuit.
Thanks, guys, and I will be tracking the cool temperatures and freeze warning before we warm up during my full weather.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When tornadoes touched down in parts of our viewing area, NewsLink Indiana kept you informed days in advance.
You do need to be seeking shelter.
Marginal risk of severe weather.
And days after.
The roof has been ripped completely off of this house,
giving you a first-hand look at the communities affected.
When your neighbors lose their house and you don't, how lucky you are.
The first to alert you of severe weather before it happens. NewsLink Indiana Weather.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember you threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that? Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back. We are going to see some cooler temperatures coming up. 53 degrees was our high for today. We're over 10 degrees below average for this time of year, and this trend will continue for the next couple of days. It's currently 45 degrees in Muncie, 47 degrees down in Indianapolis, some warmer temperatures off to the east, and we're having some cool air coming down from Michigan, from the Great Lakes, and that's kind of the reason that we're seeing these cooler temperatures right now. We are going to drop down to 33 degrees by 5 a.m. and it's going to cool down a little bit more around 7 a.m. So if you're going to class or to work, you're going to want to bundle up because we do have a freeze warning in effect until 9 a.m. tomorrow. So this means temperatures could reach 29 degrees for a low. So if you have plants outside, you're going to want to bring them inside. Any outside plumbing or exposed pipes could possibly freeze over a little bit, so just be aware of that. In Muncie, we are in the freeze territory, so we're going to see the coolest temperatures compared to the western counties. We are also in this drought area. We are experiencing moderate to dry drought, which is continuing. We aren't seeing much rain. We can see the radar is currently clear with that little bit of cloud cover we can see coming up from the Great Lakes region. It's traveling south towards us, and a reason for those cooler temperatures that are kind of within those clouds. And then once those clouds move out tomorrow, we're going to have some sunshine and then some warmer temperatures. We're going to reach about 61 degrees for the high tomorrow. So it's going to warm up quite a bit compared to today. And that sunshine will continue for the next couple of days, some warm temperatures, and we're going to jump back up quite a bit to 74 degrees on Monday. We can see this big jump here as that cool air retreats south, and then we're going to be left with more of the above average temperature range like what we have been seeing more recently. So for the next 7 days, we can see here we're going to be cool for today, and then we're going to warm up a bit for the weekend into the mid 70s up to 74 degrees, 75 degrees on Tuesday. So this is quite a jump. We're experiencing some weather whiplash right now. What do you guys think about this? Because I mean, everyone has missed that fall weather, but now we're really seeing it quick.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like, I had to grab my winter jacket this morning. It was so cold, and I was like, what the heck? This winter, like, weather we're getting, it's not even, like, winter time yet, but...
Yeah, and I know previously we were so excited for it, but now I'm kind of regretting that.
Yeah, that's how I feel on the way to class. It's so chilly, and I have to wear my jacket, but we are going to see that warm up this weekend, luckily, so hopefully that sticks around for just a little bit.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Olivia. There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Max Robson has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Amelia. One former great gets back in the game in a new way, and one Ball State squad looks to stay undefeated. All this and more next in sports.
Think about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh.
My lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Max Robson with sports. 7-time Super Bowl champion quarterback Tom Brady is now a limited partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. The NFL approved the deal on Tuesday after a long-running saga for Brady's bid to enter ownership. Brady and his partner will now hold 10% in the Raiders, with Brady personally holding a 5% stake. This marks Brady's second investment in Las Vegas-based professional sports franchises, as in May he acquired a minority ownership share of the WNBA's Las Vegas Aces. Brady, who is widely considered the greatest QB of all time, retired from the NFL following the 2022 season. He then signed a 10-year deal with Fox in 2022 to be part of the network's top NFL broadcasting team, where he is currently in his first season of announcing games. To take it over to the virtual nets, one of Ball State's esports teams have been lighting up their screens. NewsLink Indiana's Jack Farrar has more on Ball State's Rocket League team.
Ball State's varsity Rocket League team has had an incredibly strong start to their season. These Cardinals have soared to a 9-0 record, winning 26 of their 27 total games. But a powerhouse like this doesn't get built overnight.
Everything kind of aligned, but I knew play style-wise and personality-wise it was going to be perfect. I just thought it would take a little bit longer than it did, and then it just kind of worked out perfect from the fall to spring, and then we won national championships, so everything just kind of made us look like geniuses.
The Cardinals are sitting comfortably at the top of the MAC standings, with Akron sitting in second, carrying a 6-1 record and only 18 total wins. But the way this Cardinal flock has built their nest is what separates them from the rest.
I think what separates us from the rest is our chemistry, not only in game but outside of the game too. We like to hang out all the time and just play other games other than Rocket League. So I think the chemistry outside of the game too translates to inside the game. So I think that helps as well.
The gap between everyday Rocket League players and professional players may be bigger than you think. And to widen that gap between the average players and this squad, these Cardinals work just as hard as any other Division I team.
I think most of it is just playing the game a ton. I think all of us have, I myself have 13,000 hours in the game. It just takes a lot of time. And the better people you play, when you're playing better people consistently, it makes you improve.
The Cardinals will take on 9th-ranked Eastern Michigan and 4th-ranked Central Michigan tonight. You can cheer on the Cardinals either in person in RB 134 or on the Ball State University Twitch stream. In Muncie, Jack Farrar, NewsLink, Indiana.
To pass it to the courts, tomorrow the Muncie Burrs Owls take on the Eastbrook Panthers in the first round of the IHSAA volleyball sectionals. The Owls come into the first round of the sectionals fresh from a loss in straight sets to the Yorktown Tigers. Despite this loss to the Tigers, Muncie Burrs still holds a strong overall record of 22 wins and 7 losses. Meanwhile, Eastbrook enters sectionals off of a 3 straight sets to 1 loss against the Madison Grant Argyles and an overall record of 14-13. But now, for both of these teams, it's do or die, with each game potentially being the last. And like many seniors at the end of the season, Lily Howell is met with mixed emotions.
It's really sad. I'm really sad that this journey is over, but I'm really happy to be ending it with this group of girls. This is just it's been a fun ride, but it's definitely sad.
The Owls hope to keep the fun ride going tomorrow and beyond, with the winner of the game set to face the Blackford Bears on Saturday morning. So, Amelia and Lauren, I mean, with these athletes over in RB 125 with Rocket League, 16,000 hours. I mean, I've never put that much time into almost anything.
That's insane, and truly the effort shows. So.
Yeah, and the dedication's definitely there for them. So Thank you so much, Max. Take a look at the newest release in the Hunger Games book series.
And one final look at your weather after the break.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Scholastic unveiled the cover of the 5th Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the Reaping. It shows a songbird and snake arising from the same source. The artist Tim O'Brien did the covers for the previous books. The upcoming book by Suzanne Collins will revisit the world of Panem 24 years before the events of the Hunger Games. When the new book was announced earlier this year, Lionsgate announced it would adapt it into a movie. Sunrise on the Reaping will be published March 18th, 2025.
Victoria's Secret is back. Yesterday night, the brand held its famed fashion show for the first time in 6 years. The night was full of comebacks with models Tyra Banks, Gigi Hadid, and Adriana Lima returning to the catwalk. Kate Moss also made a surprise appearance. Performances include Cher, Tyla, and K-pop star Lisa. Did you guys watch it?
I did.
I saw some of it.
It was amazing, and I love how they brought the old OG models back. It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, and I loved all the colors too. It was just like a total variety. You had like pink and like yellow. It's just so many colors. But I really like the music.
Oh my God.
I'm into the
Cher.
music aspect. Cher's song.
She killed it.
And the guitar.
Yes.
I love the little like guitar solos.
Yes. And I thought it was kind of cool how they added like K-pop star Lisa into that mix, because you have Cher and then Tyla, and then we have K-pop, which is really cool because you don't see that often. It was just so cool how we were able to bring that back.
Yes, history was for sure made last night.
Yes, for sure. Well, now we're going to have one last final look at your weather with Olivia.
Thanks, guys. So we are going to have a warm up going into this weekend, and then up to 74 degrees on Monday, 75 degrees on Tuesday, warm and sunny skies, and hopefully these warm temperatures will continue going into next weekend.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to theballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.